Don't make me gap you.
I'm turning into the gas station.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Getting a late start today. Had to ship out some more orders this morning, so we're headed to the post office right now to get all those orders out. And then we're headed to the shop and we need to make some serious progress on the Hyper Blue Evo 8 today. I'm thinking that we may be able to actually drive the car today. So get all the leaks fixed. We got all the parts in for that. We got the new half rad in so we can get the new radiator in. So we have all the clearance in the world. So start rubbing on everything and we should be good. Oh my gosh, that leak is worse than I thought. That's from just sitting there, not running. That thing is going to be leaking a lot. Let's get this thing fixed. We got the car up in the air. Take a look at that oil drain, or not the oil drain, the turbo drain line, that AN fitting right there. She is non-stop leaking. So let's grab what we got to fix that and hopefully it works. All right, we got these dash 10 conical seals. We got 4 of them. So all we have to do is pull off the AN fitting, and this goes right in between the fitting and that flange where it threads on. Okay, I think the leak is fixed. I fired it up, let it run for a while. Now I'm gonna let it sit. Make sure we don't have any more leaks from that turbo drain. While we're waiting, let's go ahead and swap out this full-size thick boy radiator for the half rad. So we picked up a Mishimoto off of MA Performance, and it should be a direct fit, direct bolt on right into the 8. I've never ran a half rad before. I'm kind of excited. Well, the hose outlet is in quite a bit different of a location. It's probably 3 inches to the right, so I'm hoping that our current radiator hose fits. Let's go ahead and pop out this rad, get this boy in, figure out how it mounts, because it looks like it's only one mount there, one mount on the bottom, but let's give it a shot. Thank goodness it's water, but wow. I like to make a mess when I do this. Not really sure why. The amount of clearance that this thing is gonna give us for everything is insane. For the dump tube, for the downpipe, for the oil feed or the oil return line, for the lower intercooler pipe, everything to do with the turbo kit, you literally need a half rad. So all we have to do, take this fan off, throw it on this radiator. This hose right here needs to connect here and it runs over to the expansion tank, and then we can get that guy installed and all of our problems will disappear. All right, we got the radiator in. This radiator hose really no way that it's gonna work. I tried flipping it around, all that good stuff. Can't get it to work, so we're gonna have to figure something out there. And then, so we have the JDC titanium mount on that side. They included this little bracket, and I'm assuming it's supposed to go right here. So let's get that fabbed up. It's not really gonna match, but it's not a bad look. But look at how much space this gives us. We can swap wastegate springs very, very easy. We can pull the turbo kit off the car without removing the radiator now, which is gonna be super freaking handy. I'm sure we'll have that thing off a few times in the near future. And then it gives us quite a bit more space for the lower intercooler pipe as well. Let's get this thing mounted up over here, and then I might try to run a Napa and grab some sort of radiator hose. We got it all situated, guys. All we had to do is go grab the factory radiator hose off the Black 8. So the radiator that was in here was for a 5, 6, or 7. 8, 9 are different. Pulled this off the Black 8, flipped it upside down, and she fits like a glove. So we're all done there. Being that we have the half rad now, it is 100% pointless to have this fan over here. So we need to kind of disassemble the front end, pull off the power brace, pull off the intercooler. Then we can get this fan out of here because it does not serve a purpose. All right, we're all finished up with the radiator install. That fan's off, gives us all the room in the world. Imagine if we threw a fatty little turbo right there in place of the fan. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, much better now. I'm excited that we did the half rad. And if you guys want to purchase that radiator, I'll have a link down below. Let's take a look at our, oh my gosh, is it really freaking leaking? Okay. Our turbo drain's still leaking. What that means is we are gonna have to wait till tomorrow to grab a new AN fitting. I'm just gonna pull the whole entire line off, go to House of Hose, and just get new fittings on both ends, just to make sure we're not gonna deal with this freaking leak for like another week, because we just waited a week for those seals to come in. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. I'll pick this video back up tomorrow. What up, guys? It's now the next morning. We went and grabbed the AN fitting that we needed on the way to the shop, got it installed, and we are letting the car run right now. I'm gonna let it run for a while, shut it down, and make sure we don't have any leaks. So far, it looks like we're good to go. So I'm excited for that. Finally done with all the leaks that we had on the car. We should be able to put some serious miles on this thing today and maybe button up the rest of the build and actually go drive the car for a lot of miles, not just like 5 miles. I've spent all morning trying to get this AN fitting to stop leaking. I don't know if it's a different degree angle on the male versus the female. I know there's a 37 degree and a 45 degree, the actual angle of the flare. Either way, I could not get it to stop leaking. I put thread tape on it when I know you're not, obviously you're not supposed to put thread tape on AN fittings, but I put some tape on there and it may have fixed the leak. I don't know why it keeps leaking. It's a brand new fitting, a brand new flange as well. Hopefully that fixed that. If it did, I'll be excited. Well, either it fixed it or it made it leak a lot slower. It's been sitting for 15 or 20 minutes and she's not leaking yet. So, whatever. I wouldn't recommend putting thread tape on an AN fitting, but in this case it fixed it, so I'm gonna run it. Let's go ahead and throw the wheel back on the car and we can take it for a nice little rip. I'm feeling better now. That drive was good. I came back to the shop, let it sit. There's no leaks. There's no leaks at all for the first time. And now we are gonna do a little modification, a little part swap. Come here. So in this box is a new, I think it's a Precision brand wastegate. And I'm gonna swap out the purple tile wastegate on the car with the black Precision. So let's open this thing up. Let me show you guys what it looks like. And being that we have the half rad on the car, should be very, very easy to replace, I hope. So this is called a PW39. It's a flange, like a 2-bolt flange type of thing. I'm not sure what springs are in here now, and quite honestly, I'm not really sure what springs I'm supposed to be running. But yeah, this is what it looks like. It's not a V-band setup, which I don't mind. Either way works. Beautiful. That's how it looks right now. As you guys can see, it's just out of place. So provided that Precision is a direct bolt-on fit, we can take the tile off and throw on the Precision. Here's a little side-by-side comparison. Tile, Precision, same concept. This is just a little bit more pretty. I'm trying to figure out what wastegate springs we should put in there, so I just hit up Chag. As of right now, there's probably a red and a green in there because we have the natural color, the yellow, and the blue outside. So the red and green together that'd be 15 PSI total of springs inside the wastegate. It might need to be a little bit higher. Actually, you know what? Could we do that while it's on the car? We could easily swap them on the car. Damn, that looks clean. That is a game changer. All right, I'm gonna get that thing bolted on, get it all plumbed, and if we gotta swap them out, we can swap them out later. All right, update. Went ahead, took the hood off so I don't have to use my hood as a hood prop. We are waiting on some struts to show up because we do not have the location or like the little mount for the hood prop. Otherwise, we'd be running a nice JDC titanium hood prop. So yeah, I took the hood off there. I'm gonna leave the bumper off. And I don't know if that's illegal. I don't think it's illegal. If it is, I think we'll be okay. Let me show you guys why here in a second. Fuse box, we got that pushed in. So now the bumper will fit. So we're good there. And then I've seen a lot of comments about this. We finally got a license plate on the car. Got it registered, got it insured. I know I've had this car for like a half year, but we finally got it done because it's been sitting for so long. It was really pointless to do. Well, we didn't have a motor in the car. We are now officially legal to drive this thing. That's why I'm not too worried about it if it's illegal to not have a hood, which I don't think it is because I've driven in the past in the hood. I think we should be good to go. I'm gonna go put some more miles on the car right now. Just finally go out and enjoy it because I know everything's dialed in, everything's good to go. And I wanna get more miles on the car before we actually start turning it up. I'm not sure how many I wanna put on it. Typically I would do a few hundred, but I don't know if I'm gonna do a few hundred miles before we turn it up this time around. Let's head out and see how it goes. Another successful like 30-mile drive in the books. Excited for that. Got back to the shop, threw it up on the lift, made sure we didn't have any leaks. Of course, the turbo oil return line is leaking again. If anyone knows how to fix that, I don't really know what to do anymore, I guess, because the AN fitting itself is new, and the flange where it bolts onto the oil pan is also new. It's all new, and I'm not over torquing it. I did a lot of reading online on how much you should actually torque AN fittings. It keeps leaking. I knew that the thread tape wasn't gonna fix it. It definitely helped it, but it's still leaking. And I thought we sprung another leak, and it's really confusing me. We kept getting oil on the bottom of the starter, and I let it run on the lift for a while, so there was actual pressure in the engine, and it's not happening anymore when it's just sitting here. So I'm pretty sure when we're driving, oil's kind of spraying or leaking from this line here. It kind of drips down on here and goes onto the starter, because I don't really know where else it'd be coming from. It almost looks like it literally looks like it's coming from inside the starter, which obviously is not possible. Yeah, so that's where we're at right now. That's why it's all torn apart. Got that lower cross member off, and that plate, I thought maybe it was the rear main seal at first leaking, and if that was the case, it'd be all wet up in here, but it's completely dry, as you guys can see, and the oil pan's not leaking. So yeah, I'm betting on it coming from the turbo return line. But look at that, still a little bit wet. Dang it. There was a minor fuel leak coming from the regulator return line. Got that situated. It's just a loose fitting. Got that tightened up. I feel like all of the little odds and ends are finally coming to a close, and we shouldn't have to fix any more freaking leaks. I feel like we have a lot of leaks on this build. I'm not really sure why. I've never experienced this many leaks in my life. There's one thing I want to do real quick, and it involves vinyl wrapping. I am going to probably just run this car hoodless until we can get those hood struts in, because we're clearly doing a lot of work on the car still, but it's ugly. And I'll show you why it's ugly here in a second. I already knew this was gonna be a problem, but the insides of these fenders are in desperate need of some vinyl wrap. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. It should be a fairly simple job. I want it to be like perfectly clean. No, none of this original blue showing through. So let's grab some good old hyper blue, or light blue, I guess you'd call it, which is from Avery, if you're wondering, and get that and that side wrapped. Should really help out with the ratchetness look that we got going on right now. I must say though, driving this car around town, this gets the most amount of wild looks I've ever gotten in my life. It's probably because we're not running a hood or front bumper, or maybe it's because it's wild looking, I don't know. It's kind of fun though, it's kind of cool. Lots of thumbs ups, lots of smiles, and lots of crazy looks. All right, so I got that fender pulled up and kind of out of the way, just so I can get it all nice and tucked under, cover up all that factory blue. Let's go get it cleaned up with some IPA and get that thing vinyl wrapped. So there's the miscolored side, doesn't look right whatsoever. And there is the finished side. So much cleaner. That looks amazing. We're all finished up wrapping, and I have one last thing to do tonight before we call it a day. That is literally gonna be icing on the cake for this engine bay. JD Custom sent over a ton of hardware for this car, as you guys know, and a ton of other parts such as the coil and plug setup, bunch of titanium stuff, and I still have to install all of these the bolts for the fenders, headlights, bumper, all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and install these nice blue titanium bolts and washers, the hardware for the fenders, and see how that all looks. That is beautiful. All right, that made this engine bay about 78 times better. It is so miscolored before. Of course, we still need to do the bottom of the hood and this front bumper section right here, but we can do all that stuff when we actually are gonna be running these parts on the car. It's been a long day of trying to figure out leaks. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here, guys. If anyone knows how to fix this gosh dang and fitting, let me know in the comment section below. I'd really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I'll see you guys tomorrow.